OK, let's talk about some controversy surrounding pop star Beyonce now. And this is about lyrics of a song on her new album. Now, the lyrics were deemed derogatory to people living with disability. And the charity Scope said it was appalling and deeply offensive. We believe the lyrics now have been changed. Can you explain, Sophie, what the lyrics were, without saying the derogatory word, obviously, but why people are outraged and offended?
So the word that Beyonce used in her song, and I think she used it twice, was derived from the word spastic. And spastic is a medical term, and it's associated with a number of different disabilities, particularly one specifically is cerebral palsy. And the word basically got turned into an offensive term, and then latterly, basically disabled people said, we want to stop using this word because it's become offensive. So it's now what we call an ableist slur. It's something that we fight very hard to have removed from the everyday lexicon of, you know. And so when we see pop stars like Beyonce using it, it's heartbreaking for lots of different reasons. But one of the reasons it's particularly frustrating is that only 6 weeks ago, another pop star, Lizzo, used the same term. And it had a huge backlash. And she very gracefully just said, right, I get it. Sorry, I didn't realise I'd caused offence. Don't want to offend anybody. She changed it. So all of the disability advocates out there, all the campaigners were like, thank you, nice one. This is what we want to see. Don't need to cancel anybody. There's no need for that. But this is about learning. It's about education. And we all hoped, I think, that this would be an example of a way in which somebody can be taught the ways in which they've offended someone, learn from it, and globally we can have a conversation that will enable us to therefore say, look what Lizzo did. It won't happen again. And we all thought there was change made. And now, you know, less than 2 months later, yes, we've got Beyonce, who's you know, she's so influential, and she's done exactly the same thing.
So how... You must be very surprised at that, because you think, well, she must have known... This is the
question
I think... Well, she didn't personally, her team around her would have known about the Lizzo story.
Well, this is what we are all, I think, confused about, is how could she or anyone in her team have missed what happened with Lizzo? But also it makes you wonder... Does she have anybody on her team who has a disability? Because we would not have allowed that to happen, and we would, you know, be trying to police that so that she doesn't get in trouble and so that no one is offended. So it's just, I think it almost feels like we have a step forward with Lizzo and then 5 steps back or 10 steps back with this, and it's just a little bit demoralising.
But you don't need to have someone on your team with a disability to know that that word is offensive.
But it helps. No, of course you don't.
Do you know what I mean? Anyone in their right mind round Beyonce would go, you can't say that.
But, you know, it's one of those things, we still... I think even the concept of ableism is something that we still have to educate people on. And so it feels like a constant fight and a constant struggle to kind of be heard. And so it is important to have disabled people in your team. You don't have to be... To make sure you don't slip up, but it will mean that these mistakes don't get made because they are deeply offensive and they set back the agenda so far.
In this day and age, I just throw my hands up and say, why? Yeah. Because we all have to police ourselves, on air live as we are, you know, every day. I know that I can't say anything untoward because I'd be sacked. And so in so many quarters of life in general, you know, it's against the law to be racist. And, like, for example, years ago, like, I, for example, could tell an Irish joke, but now it's really against the law if you're racist against Irish or black or brown, whatever the case may be, and so it should be.
And it's good.
So it's modern
times.
We're
all self-educating all the time, aren't we?
But that's the danger. We thought that we learned a lesson with Lizzo, but unfortunately, it looks like we haven't.
Will it be enough that she removes the lyrics, apologises, and it's done?
I would hope so, but we don't know. That's the thing that's frustrating, is we thought that we'd had educated somebody here in the public space and they'd made those moves, but now it's just happened again. So who knows? That's the thing that's frustrating.